My name is Jonathan Pappas, and I am an 18-year-old artist, entrepreneur, and programmer. I love making mazes, and I also love programming. A maze is a collection of twisting paths with a start and an end. So I love challenging puzzles. I've always loved puzzles. I love the feeling of frustration, working through it, finally solving it. And I think this is the process of true learning. And since I love puzzles and art, I wanted to make artistic mazes for other people to enjoy solving. So I wanted to share that joy. I was around 5 years old when I drew my first maze, but when I was 10, I started making mazes a lot. When I was very little, I used to take pieces of paper, as many as I could, and tape them together, grab a marker, and just start drawing a big maze, as big as possible. I have a picture of that. I didn't save those mazes, but I did save a maze that I created 8 years ago, and it looks like this. At first, my goal was to make the smallest and most detailed maze possible. I spent 5 years specifically making mazes more and more detailed. This one I showed you already. This was my very first one where I was trying to make specifically as detailed as I could. This one, I was also 10, and it's a little more detailed this time. Here's another one that I made. It's getting more detailed. This one is about 5 years ago. Finally, here's my most detailed maze. I did a few others with some symbols, like this one, it has a taco inside of it. This one I did when it was 2016. That was very early on when I was like, maybe I could put a little image inside of it. After this, I began experimenting with different kinds of mazes and inventing new styles of how to play mazes. So I was experimenting with 3D over-unders, and I was experimenting with mazes on the line, and I was experimenting with combining all the mazes into one huge maze. This one that I drew, this one is really special to me right here. I really like the shape. It's special because I never completed it. And a few years ago, I took a picture of it and recreated it digitally, and I started experimenting with some colors. And this is the result of that. This is called the unraveled flag. And when I showed my family this piece for the first time, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just experimenting, and they were all like, whoa, you could do more of this. So after that, I decided to draw more mazes that had works of art in them, so you could see a work of art coming out of the maze. Each maze that I draw is solvable. So they all have one solution. Even this spherical one right here, it has one solution. So they all have a start and an end, and sometimes I add little secrets. I do follow an algorithm. I start drawing at the start, I draw a little S, then I branch out like a tree. And that's how I do a maze. So I can always take one of those branches, and I know that I'll always go back to the start. So before, I used to just draw mazes that would fill the entire page, and when I filled it up, I'd be like, okay, I'm finished. Now, like with this one, I didn't fill up the whole page. I have a lot of white space, some negative space. That maze was my first maze where I was experimenting with different path thicknesses, so sometimes I made large paths, sometimes I made small paths. Yeah, you can see how it has this ripple effect in a little darker area up here. I worked on this with my grandfather. He taught me how to do 3D splashes, so I really enjoyed learning that from him, and I also enjoyed the result of the maze. When I was first drawing mazes, I was really inspired by the Mammoth maze. and it was like the world record largest maze at the time. But when I saw it, I was like, whoa, I want to do something like that. So that really inspired me to make mazes. Also, what inspires me to keep on making mazes is whenever I see something beautiful in nature or architecture or historical art piece, I'm also inspired to make a maze out of that. And really, it's what has been super inspiring lately is famous works of art or architecture or nature. I love looking at those and then wanting to make a maze out of it. The Great Wave, I have a daytime version, but I also have a nighttime version. I really like the nighttime version because it looks like it's in a storm. I take a picture of what I want to create. I start drawing, and yeah, I just get it to how I want it to look, and then I add the colors on afterwards. I have a maze of my younger brother's face. I took a picture of his face and I drew a maze and I added color. I really like that one. At the very beginning, my younger brother David, he made mazes alongside me. He was making mazes too, and we do this together. But recently, my entire family has been really supporting me. And for example, last year we had a maze project at the Children's Discovery Museum, and my whole family brought in their own special expertise. My brother David, he made a maze playbook, and I love this. I love this. My younger sister Sophia, she sewed little inky characters, and this is the character in my app. And I love these. These are awesome. My dad, he would do the big technology stuff, so he would create massive maze experiences, and I'm really grateful for that. Also, my grandfather has been teaching me art and design. It's really just a whole family endeavor now. So I've always wondered what maze apps there were, and when I looked for them, all I could see was just computer-generated brick-like mazes. Same with the maze workbooks, they all look the same. So I decided that I wanted to make an app or a playbook where each maze was handcrafted and intelligently designed to be a puzzle and also a work of art. So last year I learned how to program, and my Maze Jam app is the result of this pursuit. And right now it has over 300 mazes, and they're all hand-drawn. And it also has music too. Here's an example of one of the mazes inside the Maze Jam app. They're all just completely different. This is the very first level, and this is my character Inky right here, and you drag him to the end. So just drag him to the end. Inky leaves little paths. It's red right now. I can change it to blue and drag him along. Now it's blue. So you can have different colored paths to see where you've been. For me, it's more explorative, and I think it really helps teach how mazes work. Mazes are a combination of math, puzzles, art, and now programming. And these are all four of my largest passions. It does require a lot of patience to make a maze, but for me, I love it because it's intellectual and therapeutic. The perseverance of what the final product is going to look like really is what keeps me going to draw the maze. Because sometimes it is tough, but I really appreciate what comes out in the end. One piece of advice is never to give up and always have fun with it. If something isn't enjoyable, try something different. Try it another way, but never give up. Hello, this is Jonathan Pappas of Maze Jam. On Wednesday, I'll show you how to create a classic maze, and on Thursday, I'll show you how to create a collaborative maze. You can join us again on Saturday to watch a supercut video of mazes with a special animation featuring Inky, the character that travels through our mazes. See you then!
Thank you for watching our virtual Purple Museums broadcast. If you're enjoying this content, please consider making a donation to support our efforts. Our summer broadcasts are every Wednesday and Friday on Facebook and YouTube. Stay in the loop by joining our email list. Visit www.cdm.org and sign up today.